Hi everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert, where I teach you how to navigate the energies that are currently being presented to us so you can live a life full of more happiness and joy and health. So what's happening, everybody? This is a spectacular week for relationships. A couple of days ago, I felt some huge shifts inside of myself, and I thought, it's just me. But then again, it's never just me. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to take a brief moment to talk about what's happening right now and how that is affecting us and what we can do with it. Of course, this is going to be a really short session on what I normally do every Tuesday night for my inner circle, which if you go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on inner circle, you can get right on that and join us every single Tuesday, and you'll get your private invitation, and we'll talk about this in a more expanded manner. So I just got done refilming from last night because when I got on with my inner circle, I was unable to connect with them because they couldn't hear the audio. And I thought to myself, I've been having trouble with communication all week, and now this? So relationships and communication. Hi, Christy, she says, sometimes it isn't just me, and that's true. But anyways, getting back to relationships and the energies that are going on in communication. So on Monday and Tuesday, I was having different aspects and different relationships where I was having trouble. So I felt like I wasn't being heard by my ex-husband, and I felt like I couldn't hear him, and so we were trying to communicate about our daughter, and what he was saying to me seemed clear to him, and what I said to him seemed clear to me, but there was a mismatch in communication. Thankfully, we got it straightened out very quickly. Also, in other aspects of relationships, I've been having this relationship going on inside of my head. One of my girlfriends said, you rent space to people inside your head. And that also is happening. So there's people from my past that are no longer physically in my life. They're outside of my circle. I don't see them, I don't talk to them, and I don't communicate with them anymore. But I hear things inside of my head that remind me of them. So if that's going on for you, that's also part of this communication thing that's going on. And so the energies from God, Spirit, or Source and the planets are kind of pushing together and getting us to look at the inside and the outside relationships. If you have a relationship to someone and it's not going well, or you feel like you're not being heard, go within and look at what's happening. Use them as a mirror to identify what's in your heart and then act accordingly with that relationship. Now, changing subject, something else that I noticed was absolutely spectacular but unexpected. Some of my clients have been contacting me and saying, you know what, I have met the most absolute perfect person. He or she is so wonderful. And I'm thinking to myself, this week is about relationships and about what's on the inside and the outside mirroring each other and kind of dancing. What's up with that? Well, what's happening is there's some shiny object people out there. So if there's somebody, even if you're married or you're in a relationship and somebody pops up and they're all sparkly and you think, oh wow, this person is going to be so fun, please don't let your little head do your thinking for your big head. Sorry, a little humor. Or your female parts do your thinking, for your head. Because what's happening is a lot of the relationship issues are being looked at through sparkly people. It's not saying that if there's somebody sparkly in your life, they may not be for you, but think it out, be logical, take it step by step. Don't just jump in and roll in the sheets, because that's something that's also being put in people's energy fields to test them. Great amounts of passion right now is highly available. So here's a couple things to think about. Look at the relationships outside yourself. Look at how they affect you inside yourself. If you've been following my blog, toolsofenergyprotection.com, for a while, you know that Spirit's had us doing hardcore work on our inner selves, our inner compass, and where we're going. And right now we're being tested by looking at the outer and the inner relationships, okay? So imagine a pie. I know it's getting to be that season. My favorite's pumpkin, maybe you like pecan. And draw the pie into shapes and put the people on the outside of the pie that you relate to on a weekly basis or daily basis, and stand in the middle of that pie and look at them all and see how they affect you. If the effect is not what you desired, if the effect is not a desired outcome, shift it, draw healthy boundaries, make sure you can enforce those healthy boundaries. So, if anybody has any questions, please go and type them in the feed below so I can answer them quickly. And while we're waiting to see if anybody has questions, I have fabulous news for you. This coming up Friday, I will be at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver, and it's the fair weekend, which means it's $1 a minute. And for those of you that normally have sessions with me, you know that's a steal deal. So if you know anybody who's been waiting or wanting to get with me, it's a 30-minute minimum, and they can call the store and sign right up. I can give you, I think, that phone number. Just a second, and I'll look it up for you while I'm waiting to see if there's any questions. So you can call first thing in the morning. They're probably closed now. But that number is area code 303-964-9339, and you'll want to get in on that special really quickly. Now, for those of you that aren't in the inner circle and you'd like to get a weekly transmission like this and get your energy cleared, that means clear your energy, no appointment, go on Thursday, call the bookstore and book for Thursday. Any Thursday this month, I think for the second to last Thursday, though that's Thanksgiving, so I won't be there. And if you hold an appointment with me at the bookstore, For Heaven's Sakes, either by Skype or coming into the store personally, which is what I prefer, so I can give you a big hug and show you all the cool things, call 303-964-9339. Make the appointment for 1 hour on any Thursday during November, except for the one that's Thanksgiving. And then I will give you a month free into the inner circle so you can see what that's like. Did I get any questions? I know some of you are just joining, and I will let it replay here on Facebook. Are there any questions about the relationships that are going on right now? It's spectacular. It's exciting. If you're involved in a relationship and you really care about that other person, this is the time to really draw close to them, reestablish that passion if you can, gain an understanding with them. The energies are totally in support of that. One question says, can this be a relationship to your relationship with yourself? Absolutely. Because the relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship. Because if you can't relate to yourself, how can you relate to others? That's a great question. I'm going to turn that out just a little bit more before I go on. My guidance is reminding me that the most important relationship actually is your relationship to God, Spirit, or Source. Sorry, didn't mean to leave the boss out. But what I'm saying to you right now is that the relationship with yourself is something that the energies have been supporting, working on over the last several months. And now there's a different aspect, which is looking at the people outside of you to see what's going on the inside of you. So a lot of this is about drawing boundaries and looking at the relationship with people that are around you on a weekly basis. And the ones that aren't, if they're still in your head, then let's ferret that out together. Let's get together and find out why they're in your head, what energy is holding you together so you can release them. Because if they're still in your head, that's usually not a good message. Are there any other questions? Okay, I see some people that are just joining us. This is so awesome, so I'm going to recap. So basically, what I'm talking about is on the toolsofenergyprotection.com. Today's blog was called The Relationship Explosion. And so the energy right now, this week and a little bit into next week, is supporting us looking at the relationships inside ourselves as well as the relationship outside of ourselves. So let's see, what I'd like for everybody to do right now is to take a moment and think about each person that holds significance in our life right now. If it's a husband, or if it's a wife, or if it's a sister or a brother, and think about those people that really hold significance in your life. They don't necessarily have to be in bodies still. And then once you think about those people in your life, then the people that are more real time, seeing them once a week, I want you to think about what emotions come up and really list them and look at the relationship between the two of you. What emotions come up within you? Because in a relationship, you can have a relationship with somebody else, but there's a relationship going on inside of you that makes you look at that other person in a particular manner. Does that make sense? Can you put down in the feed if you're on, if that makes sense to you? Yes, no? Because that's really the core of what's going on, is our ability to relate to ourselves, and through those glasses, if you will, or that mirror, relate to those on the outside of us, and then hear what they're telling us back. That's what's going on. I'm not seeing anybody commenting in the feed, so that means I'm doing a crystal clear job, or I'm not making any sense whatsoever. But anyway, the outside mirrors the inside. Yes. Okay, so here's how it looks. You have a relationship with God, Spirit, or Source, however you see that, your angels, your guides. Okay? And that relationship is this way. And within ourselves, in our current life, we have a relationship in our head with ourselves. And it's usually based on the information that was fed into it by those people around us. And so we have a tendency to repeat relationships over and over and over, because if you imagine a mobile, you know those things we hang above the kids and they have the little deals hanging from them when they're babies, you know, like the Disney characters or something? If you take one of those pieces off the mobile goes like this, and you want to steady it out, so you want to balance it. So you will add another person to your social network in the mobile to hold that place. So just quickly, let's say that you have an ex-spouse, and you work through all the poop with that spouse. It could be a parent, if you like. A lot of people have bad relationships with their parents, especially abusive parents. And you work through those emotions in your heart. You work through those emotions through counseling or self-help books or spiritual mentors like me. And you get yourself to that place, and you feel all good. And then you go out and you seek another relationship. Maybe you connect with another person as a mother figure or a father figure, or even look at dating someone to maybe marry them again. And then what happens when you do that is that everything that you haven't taken care of that's from within you, that came from the player outside of you, you start to project that on the new person, whether they deserve it or not. You hold them in that spot. You hold them in that shadow. So they now have to walk in that. And that's not fair to them, because probably that's not who they are, unless you haven't worked through all your poop yet. And then you're just pulling back to you magnetically a person to fit that spot on the mobile. So you got to change your mobile. But that's what's happening with relationships. It's just like, to use a modern day phrase, it's a bazinga time right now. To look at relationships, they're exploding. The ones on the outside of you are telling you how you feel about yourself on the inside of you, and that's the work we've done for the last several months. So it's a new angle. But if you think about that, and you look at the people who elicit deep emotions of hatred and anger and fear and frustration, and give you the deer in the headlight looks because you can't go forward because of them, that's the people you got to look at. That's the ones you want to draw safe boundaries with and kind of edge them towards the edge of your world, because they're just poisoning your life. And then the ones who are enhancing your world and helping you to feel good about yourself and being supportive, those are the ones you want to draw near. So it's a changing of who we have in our life and who we don't right now. It's an amazing journey. Please allow yourself to draw safe boundaries. And if you don't know how to draw boundaries, make sure you find out what the steps are for that. But that's it. That's what I have for you tonight. Again, if you would like to get something similar to this every week, I do write a blog on toolsofenergyprotection.com, which is free. And then on Tuesday night, I have an inner circle group, and we all get together every Tuesday night. We talk about what's happening like this, and then I do an energy session for the entire group. So if you've ever had an energy clearing with me, it's the same thing, only it's the group dynamic, and it's very affordable. So if you go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on Inner Circle and scroll down to the bottom, you can see the exact time for your time zone, and you can see the pricing. If you're watching me, I do have people that are watching me from Europe, which is really cool, and Great Britain, and some people in Finland. If that's you, if you join the Inner Circle, you won't get it live, but I will post the recording in our room where you'll have the password, and you can go on and access it a little bit later. So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? If you put it in the feed, and I'll wait just a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to sign off. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions other than my daughter over here who's photobombing me, as you can see. Anyway, please. So, I do love her. Have a great and wonderful night. Good luck in your relationships. Again, I'll be at For Heaven's Sakes Books this Thursday if you want to call and make a one-to-one session. And anybody who makes a session with me this month of November, I will give you a free month in the Energy Circle, Inner Circle. Have a great and wonderful night. Bye-bye.